Hey.
And we're live. It's Saturday Night Live. How do you want to start this shindig?
It's your Q&A.
We've never done this type of video before, but you guys have been asking for it. Someone commented and they said, why can't I find a video that you're nice and happy with your husband? He is alive? Is everything okay?
Somebody said
Yeah.
that? It's a little, dramatic.
Maybe because in my last video, there is a clip of you, or I might have edited this out, where you said, I'm going to try to do exactly what Chloe says so I don't make her mad.
I said that?
I think, yeah, you were like, I just don't want to piss you off today. You never make me mad.
Okay.
Actually, one thing about Byron and I, we really work well together. Like, he takes directions really well, and I actually take directions really well.
Yeah.
You don't think I take directions well?
No, you do.
Like when we helped renovate this back room and we laid all the flooring, Byron did all of the perimeter, like the cutting in and stuff, and I did the open area, and we're a really good team together. Byron and Chloe Ward Construction Company.
Yeah, I did all the, special cuts.
Yeah.
Around the outlets and all that.
So let's start with the beginning. How did Byron and I meet?
Well, I saw you at a wine event at your store. And then you were out of wine.
I was out of wine.
So we just kept on keeping on.
And we met at a bar.
It was like a restaurant.
A restaurant bar a couple hours later. But I'm going to rewind this. So when Byron and I met, I had lived in Idaho for a year or so, and I had just gotten back from going to Thailand and Vietnam with my mom. I was there for 6 weeks, which is the longest I've ever been there. And I'd only been with my mom and Lily for 6 weeks, and it was obviously so awesome because we got along really well. But I hadn't spoken to or spent any time with anyone else besides them. And even before that, I had been working a lot, so I wasn't doing a lot of fun things per se. So Byron and I met at
She wasn't hanging out with any boys.
Yeah, I definitely was not. And so Byron and I met at, we had saw each other at this wine tasting. I had run out of wine, but he caught my eye. And then
Yeah, because I stood up. That's why.
Oh yeah, because one thing about me is I have a type, and I could never be with anyone who was under 6'3", and had a little bit extra meat on them.
Whoa. Jeez.
That's just my type. Everyone in my family knows this. That's just my type.
Yeah.
So
I have extra meat.
So we met. We were talking at this bar, and I was just I had been dating. I had been single for a while, and I just was at a point where I did not care at all, and I was just going to be my true, authentic self. And I just out of nowhere, I said, well, the world is operated by a small group of people that want to have open borders and one new world order. And I just said all of this crazy stuff, and it really piqued his interest.
It was definitely not boring.
Because in my opinion, life is too short to be anyone but yourself.
Yeah, and I was single, and I was kind of just giving up on dating. And we met, and I was looking for somebody who wasn't the typical type from Idaho, and you were definitely not that.
Because I had lived in Idaho a couple of years, but I've lived in 7 different states. I've moved around a lot, so I would say I'm a pretty adaptable, different, cultured person. And Byron could put up with a lot. He has a really high threshold for what he can handle.
Yeah, you don't reach the threshold very often. Sometimes.
So Byron, when we first met and you left that pair of white sunglasses in my car,
yeah.
Did you think we would be married with 2 kids and we've been together since 2016, and we got married in 2020. Would you think like we would be here now?
Yeah. I knew from the moment I met you.
Aw. And when Byron and I met, like we were both living with our parents, and we both were just at a really like similar pace in our
Yeah, similar
lives.
place in life.
Yeah, similar place. And I think that really got our butt in gear to like figure our lives out.
We did quickly.
Because we like grew a lot.
Well, I
Like,
was like a teacher at the time, and I made
yes.
like no money.
And I wasn't making much money either.
And I was like, wow, I'm going to go on some dates with this girl. I better get a real job. Well, at least a job that made money.
And so Byron and I were just in really similar places in our life. And I think that really helped us grow as individuals and build a life together.
Yeah, we started at the bottom, now we're here.
That's right. Because we dated for a year and we did everything in like a really good order, except I think he could have proposed to me a little bit sooner. But we dated for a year and we lived in one house and we had no furniture and we had
Yeah, just free furniture we got
and
from
you know, we
people.
really made the most of it. It was like super cute. I actually loved that little townhouse. And I remember we had patio furniture that we used as armchairs in our living room.
Yeah.
And we had this like TV stand with a piece of wood over it because the one, like when we started making like a little bit more money, we saved up and we bought a really big TV.
Yeah, and it didn't fit on it was a fireplace.
Yeah, and it didn't fit on like the electric
I had to-
fireplace. So we got like a plank of wood.
Yeah, just to put on it.
And you know what? Good times. And then we got evicted from there. Not really. No,
Oh.
I'm just kidding. It's just
The owner had got a divorce, and so one of them wanted to live there. So we did get evicted, but it wasn't like we got evicted from there. Jeez.
And then we moved into another house that was really small. It was 900 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, with a fenced-in backyard, which was really nice.
Yeah, we went from 1.5 bath to 1 bath, and that was
And that's where we had Hendrix, and we lived there for a long time. How long did we live there? 4 or 5 years? No, longer than that.
yeah. I mean,
I think we lived there for 5
so
years.
1 year and 1.5 years. So like 5 years.
And I really liked living in that house because it was really small and it was easy to keep clean. And then we bought a house. So we really, I think, did things in like a good trajectory, like the proper order of things.
Yeah, we got married, then we had a kid, and then we
Yeah.
had another kid, and then we bought a house.
That's right. So Byron, how did you ask me to marry me? How did you ask me to marry me?
Yes. Well, you had always wanted a dog, and you always wanted a Pomeranian. And I always thought I wanted a big dog, because Pomeranians are little yappy things, I guess. And, well, Grizzly's definitely a yapper. But I bought you Grizzly and put the ring on his collar when you came home from... I can't remember where you
just
came
hanging
home
out with
from.
my parents.
Oh, you were at your parents' house, yeah. And you came home and I had the dog with the ring and proposed to you. And,
Yeah, it was really cute. I was super surprised.
yeah, and you thought we were house sitting some dog. You were kind of mad at first. You're like, well, you didn't ask me if we could house sit this dog.
Well, like, I was like, oh, because we had just agreed to house sit another dog. And I was like, oh, so we're just like house sitting like this adorable little dog that like I just want. So I was very, very surprised. And one of the cutest thing that Grizzly does is like, so when we feed him, he will not eat his food unless we are sitting right next to him. But
Now,
that all
he gobbles
changed when
his
we
food up,
switched
so I
his
know it
food
tastes
to the
extra
pets
yummy.
table.
The Pets Table has a delicious selection of human-grade dog food that is made with only the freshest ingredients. It has no preservatives or fillers and is delivered frozen. Grizzly loved the chicken casserole with green beans and the beef stew with carrots. Also, the Pets Table was developed with vets and with veterinary nutritionists. This special food supports your dog's gut health and immunity. Using my code, Chloe Simone Says, you can get 50% off your first box and 20% off your second box.
So thank you to the Pets Table for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to the Q&A. So Byron, What do you like most about being a, let's start with husband. What do you like most about being a husband?
Wow. Um, well, it's just like the stability.
The stability. Well, I can tell you, I what I like most about being a wife is to always have someone to hang out with, and that like has to hang out with you at all times, and you're like
Yeah.
never alone, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
I mean, I like to be, I have no problem being alone too. I'm actually a very independent person, but it's really nice to just have someone who can like answer your texts all day long.
All day long. No, it's not that, and that's just the phrasing of the question. I don't know about like the husband part. I mean, I know that I love you and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So I feel like I was like already a husband before I became a husband.
Yeah, I could see
But we
that.
just kind of, put it in writing.
Yeah, we made it official. But it definitely is like when you get married and you say a vow and you like get legally married in the eyes of the government, like there's something like to that. Like it's a commitment or because yeah,
Yeah.
it's a commitment.
Yeah, well, you just, I mean, there are
Like your lives are
times,
so intertwined.
yeah, well, you can't just walk away. I mean, you can, but it's like a lot harder. And it makes you think about your commitment, if you were ever to think, like, sometimes if we're not getting along, I have to remind myself that I made a commitment to you, whether, for
Yeah.
good or for bad. Like, we're in it together. And not that I'm considering walking away, but just
You
like,
better not.
stuck with me now. We got these kids.
So Byron, how many kids do you want?
I mean, as many as you'll give me.
So do you want to have baby number 3?
You know I do.
When do you want to have baby number 3?
I think it would be good to take a little break, but as soon as there's never a good time, so just whenever it
Yeah, that's the
happens.
one thing about kids, like having kids. There's no like perfect time to have a child. And I feel like a lot of young people, even if they're married, are like, "Oh, I'm just waiting to like get this promotion. I'm just waiting to like finish this degree. I'm just waiting for this." But there's always going to be a reason to wait to have kids. So you might as well just do it and get it over with.
Yeah, and I don't think we're the type of people. I mean, not that, we're not really like the most planning people. And like, I mean, we do plan our
Yeah, we don't really.
lives.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
We
can see
just
that.
like decide to do things and then figure it out.
Yeah,
That's just like how we live our life.
yeah, and I think it's just better that way because like life is going to throw you curveballs, and I think it's in those moments that's where you have like the most growth, and when you're pushed to like the absolute limit,
Yeah, and I
breaking
think
point.
and I think we want to like show our kids, like I want to instill the like I want to encourage them to take risks, and I want to show them, lead by example doing that.
Yeah, that's a really good. That'll help me pivot into. So when my mom got sick on February 19th, when our daughter was only 7 weeks old, it really pushed our family to like the absolute limit. Like it was really, really difficult. And I think like one thing I've learned from all of this is like how important it is. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. How important it is to like stay close to your family because your family at the end of the day I think is really going to have your back, and also like choosing your partner wisely because it's like in those moments like you need like a strong person with you.
Yeah, and I think we kind of like hunkered down, and I mean that in the sense of, obviously we were doing a lot, so we weren't hanging out with our friends as much. We kind of became really tight unit.
Since my mom got sick, like Byron and I have really had to rise to the occasion because basically overnight I had to take over my mom's business without any type of guidance. I mean, we had definitely had guidance from professionals. There was just a lot of huge learning curves that we had to go through legally, financially to take over this business because one of the things about my mom's cancer was that since it affected her brain, I could never really call her up and say, "Okay, how do I do this? How do I do that?" which made it very, very difficult. and we had to go figure out a lot of banking things, yeah, a lot of legal things, and we have really risen to the occasion. I mean, any type of business is difficult, and any type of business, taking over any type of business, even though like this is a clothing store, this isn't like a huge corporation, but it's still very hard when you have, especially when we had two very little
Yeah, I mean, I
children.
think the hardest part is, I mean, we've navigated those obstacles fairly easily, I think.
Well, there was a few things that were very
Yeah, well,
difficult.
yeah. I mean, there were some road bumps, but we got through them. You just
Byron remains very cool, calm, and collected. I don't think well, I have seen you like really mad, obviously, but he really stays big. He is the most patient person. What does my dad say about you?
patient as
He said
Job.
my dad says Byron is as patient as Job.
Yeah, there's no reason to get worked up about stuff.
Well, sometimes there is.
Sometimes there is. Yeah. But anyway, I thought we handled that pretty well, and yeah, now I think things are rocking and rolling. We've got everything pretty much
Yeah, we
going.
definitely have a good like grasp on everything for now. There'll be another curveball, but we
Well, I think the hardest thing was between everything going on and the kids, it's just time management and being able to, just put in the time to get stuff done. I mean, sometimes you just gotta, like, if you can't figure something out, you just gotta call somebody and sit on hold for an hour.
yeah.
And when you do that, I mean, your whole hour is basically, like, you can't really do other things. I mean, theoretically, you can kind of be productive, but, I'm not a huge believer in
Multitasker?
multitasking.
Oh, well, women are better at multitasking than men.
Yeah, well, I just think that it's actually better to prioritize and focus on one thing at a time.
It definitely is better. It's better for your brain
And it's better, I think you do, in
because you're
general,
actually
people do
not
better work that way.
multitasking. You're just task switching.
Yeah, exactly. And I get in the zone when I work, so I do like, you know, 2 to 4 hour intervals where I'm like, super working, where I'm like super productive, and then you gotta have to take like a little break for your brain, and then do it again.
Yeah.
You gotta get in a
What
groove.
is your favorite thing that we do together?
Now I just like to chill. Like right now, like if this camera was off and we were just sitting on the couch, just hanging out because we are so busy.
It's so funny. So we're in the back of my store right now, and we have this really cool like back room area, but we've set it up kind of like our living room where sofa. We have a TV. So
There's like a
sometimes,
kitchen.
yeah, there's a full kitchen. So sometimes we just come back here and chill where it's quiet, and it's really funny. But I would say one of the things that I love about my husband is he really likes to cook, and he's always loved to cook. Like when we first started dating, one thing about me is I never grew up with the microwave. Like the microwave is disgusting. And I think this like blew his mind when I was like, "Oh, I just don't like the microwave."
Yeah, I think since we've started dating, I've used a microwave less than you.
Yeah.
And we haven't, well, we had a microwave.
So Byron
We
made me
don't
like
have
when
one
we first
now.
started dating, he like made me something to eat, and he was gonna microwave it, and I guess I said, "Oh, just like don't microwave
You
it."
said like we're not using a microwave ever, and I just
I was
never
like,
have used
microwaves are
it.
so bad for you, and he hasn't used a microwave since.
Also, it's actually not, microwaves are just not more convenient. Like I just started heating things up. If it was like so much more convenient, I probably would have went back to it. But generally, if you want to heat something up in the oven or just in like a pan, it takes about the same amount of time.
And it just tastes
And it
better,
tastes so much
like
better.
exponentially better.
Yeah, you have to do a dish, but like I do dishes all day.
So that also leads me, and Byron is a really good cook, and he's always loved to cook, but I think when we started dating, and my family is like really obsessed with food, he's really fine-tuned his skills, and he is a really good cook. Like last week, he asked me what I wanted to have for like we get together on Sundays and we watch football and we'll just like hang out and eat, and I said I would really like to have gumbo.
Yeah.
And he watched a few different recipes and he made this like incredible gumbo. It was so freaking good.
Yeah, I think generally, I mean, the gumbo was good. Generally, though, it's just all about the quality of ingredients that you use.
Well, some guys cannot cook, and you are a really good cook, but you also know how to follow recipes,
You know,
which
I
is,
think
if you can
anybody,
read, you can cook.
I think anybody can cook. I think if you can't cook, you're just lazy,
Yeah.
or you don't want to, or you don't like it, and or you're just too busy, you know. But if you can set a timer and read, then you can cook.
But we used to really enjoy cooking together, and then we have kids, and we have to divide and
Divide and conquer.
But maybe we'll get back to it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we cook together. Like you do certain parts and I do certain
Yeah, like
parts.
we collaborate a lot.
Yeah, I like to grill especially.
Yes, he likes to grill. I don't like to grill. I just don't. That's not for me. It's a man thing.
Gets me out of the house for 15 minutes.
Yeah. So, Byron, what is your favorite characteristic of me?
A characteristic, that's like such a
Or like
specific
personality
question.
trait or
Well, the
anything?
thing I love about you is that you are wildly unpredictable. Like I never, which is also like a big reason why we don't like plan things. Because I can't tell you how many times we've made a plan and then you just do like the exact opposite right after. And obviously those are more like lighthearted like type things. Like if we have something serious, you know, we could make a plan and adhere to it, but I mean every day it's like just something different. Like yeah, it's just fun and interesting. It's not we don't have a boring life, I'll tell you that.
You definitely don't have a boring life.
And even though I am
I
calm
wish
and
it would.
collected, I'm not boring
No, you're not boring at all. I wish it was more boring sometimes.
sometimes. But not really. You think that, but then I mean, when we have like days where we can just chill, it's like after like one day, like you know, if you're like sick and you like have to stay in bed, and it's like you know the last day you're kind of feeling better, but you still need to rest, right? And
Yeah.
that day, it's like after that, I'm like antsy and ready to go. You know,
Yeah.
like can't sit still too long.
But when you have kids, you're just always in the move.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing about having kids is like actually like how little time you have, like how much attention they need, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously, but like you know, it's just one thing
Yeah.
that's just one. There's a lot of things about being a parent that people try to tell you that you just will never know until you experience it.
Where do you see yourself and our family in 10 years?
On a warm beach somewhere, hopefully.
In Thailand?
Yeah, maybe in Thailand. I don't know. Yeah, well, you know, probably still in Sandpoint. You know, I don't know. I kind of like our house and our neighborhood. In 10 years, maybe we'll have outgrown our house. You know, it's 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. And it's big enough that we could get cozy in there, but you know, I think eventually I'm gonna want more land. Like, but we have like no storage.
I think we have more storage than.
We have more storage than our last place, but we have no backyard, and we have a smaller front yard, and I want more stuff. Like, if I like, you know, if I want to expand my tools to be able to do
Yeah.
things, or, you know, I think I'd really like to get into doing stuff with Hendrix. He's at about that age where, you know, like, if there's something that we need to do in the car, he can like help me
Yeah.
learn how to use tools and just have some, you know, just have some area to roam about. Like he really likes it at your parents' house because they have 5 acres, and he just loves like walking around the property and
He does.
finding all his sticks and his rocks, and
He does.
you know. And I was fortunate enough when I grew up. I mean, there's lots of like, you know, public land in Idaho, but you know, my grandparents had some property in like Pritchard, where basically we could just go. You know, there's a population of like 300 people. And so they just had land, and we could just go explore and build forts and just walk around outside. It was, you know, I just want to, I just think about those types of things.
Yeah.
So I'd like more land.
More land.
Or if not more land, just getting outside more and
I do
camping
not want to
again.
move.
And
I have moved so many times in my life. Like the thought of moving, oh my gosh.
yeah, I really like our house, but there's yeah, we'll just see if we find something that we really like, or I mean, actually, if we waited, I mean, if we didn't really move and saved up, in 10 years, we could build our dream house, which would be cool. What is your favorite thing about being a mom?
Probably that when you're a mom, you are never alone.
That's true.
And when you're a mom, it's cool to like see these little people that we made. Like it's really
Yeah.
cool. I'm like, wow, I made that, grew it in my belly, and it's a really good feeling to like, just see something that yeah, you created and like you're passing your legacy on, and that you have like this little person that I'm going to try to mold. I am going to mold into a really good, productive person that contributes successfully to society to make the world a better place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool to see like Hendrix, how he's grown, and I especially like it when sometimes you feel like, when you're in the thick of it, it's like, oh, are we doing a good job with him? And then he goes
Yeah.
out and like, go hang out at the neighbor's house for a little bit, and they'll be like, man, he is so good and so sweet.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I guess we're doing something right.
Yeah. Like when he punches you in the balls.
Yeah. Well, it's different when it's dad.
Yeah.
He just does like flyby punches.
And Hendrix is at the age where I can bring him into the store with me, which is really nice. And he is starting to listen more, and he's actually really taking direction. I can tell him to do stuff. And it's so cute having him. Like, I had to rearrange all of the shoes the other day, and I was like, okay, Hendrix, take this box. And he, like, took the shoe box and moved it across the room. And it's really cool seeing them, because I grew up, like, my parents always owned various businesses, and my parents always included us. It's like one of the most like wonderful attributes of them among many others. But I remember going to like business dinners with my parents, and they just like always included us because they had to. Like you always don't have access to a babysitter. Like when you're self-employed, you just have to do it, and you have no choice. And it's really amazing to see us do that with our own children as well, and to really show them like the value of hard work, because nothing in this world is going to come for free. And if it's going to come for free, you're not going to value and respect it, and you're going to squander it away.
Yeah. What is your favorite trip that we've done together before kids? Before we had kids, like when we used to have fun.
And one time for Byron's, I don't know, I think it was like your 36th birthday or something. I don't know.
No, that's not right.
Oh, 35th birthday? I don't know. So every year we used to participate in the street fair, and it's the first weekend of August. So it always falls on Byron's birthday. And it's this big ordeal, and I can't physically like set up this thing by myself. So Byron always had to help me set up this event with, like, it's on the street. We have to put up a huge tent. It's a pretty big deal. And then it always falls on his birthday, so we had to wake up super early, like 4:30, 5 in the morning, to set up our tent. And it's a 3-day event. And one year I surprised him afterwards with a trip to this like hot springs resort afterwards. I think that was my most fun.
Yeah, me too.
Because it was like a complete surprise. Like I reached out to his boss, and I was like, oh, can you make sure like Byron doesn't work on these days?
Yeah, and I remember seeing my schedule going, that's weird. I usually work on those nights. It's like my money shifts.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, my favorite was because you woke me up and you brought in my present, which was like a backpack. Or
Well,
like a bag.
I tried to like pack for him, and I just put like underwear.
Yeah,
and
just
a
a
pair
bag.
of
It was
bathing-
just
like a bathing suit.
I don't even think there was a bathing suit. I think it was just a backpack with some underwear in it.
No, there was
You're
that.
like, we're packed
there
and
was
ready
like
to go.
that neon green bathing
Okay.
suit, because I took that picture of you in your neon green
That's
bathing suit,
true.
like the mountains in the background.
Yeah, well, then I had to pack, but you like packed for me. I was like so confused because I was like, oh, here's your birthday present. And I was like, it's a backpack full of my own underwear. Sweet. But then, yeah, we stayed 2 nights at Quinn's Hot Springs,
It was
and
just really.
it was a lot of fun. We ate good food. That was a pretty relaxing trip.
We don't have many relaxing trips anymore, but we'll get back
Yeah.
to it in a couple years. We'll take another relaxing trip. Actually, one of my favorite things that Byron and I get to do now is we have a babysitter that comes 2 days a week to watch the kids, and I work in the store those days, and then normally I work on the store on the weekends, and Byron stays home with the kids. But on those days, which today is one, we'll go out to lunch together,
We do a lot more lunch dates.
which I really, really like because we're in a no restaurant phase with our children. Like, there's just, unless there's some outdoor space where they can run around, no restaurants.
Yeah, and we're just getting to the point where even if I mean, I do stay up later than you mostly.
Yeah, you were up till midnight last night. I went to bed at 8:30.
Yeah, well, I enjoy that's my like
I
recharge
know,
time.
or you like don't get enough sleep.
No, I'm fine, but totally like lost my thought.
Sorry. We're gonna go out to lunch after this. I'm actually really
Yeah, me
excited.
too.
We're gonna go get sushi.
Oh yeah, even though I stay up late, like I'd rather just be like chilling, like reading or watching a movie, like
Well,
later, or going to bed.
Well, a couple of years ago, in 2020, we saved up our money and we bought our first brand new piece of furniture.
Oh
which
yeah,
is-
we have a really nice couch.
we have the nicest couch. Like, my mom used to always come to our house and be like, "Wow, this is the nicest couch." How many people does it sit? It sits like,
I mean,
at least
depends.
it could sit like 10 people.
It could sit 10
comfortably.
people on it. It's a
Like,
big
it is
couch.
so comfortable.
And it's really comfortable, and yeah, I mean sometimes I like to just enjoy the
And
couch and
like, we don't go to the movies or anything because
not
it's
like
just better to be at home and sit on our extremely comfortable couch.
yeah, and I just don't like. I mean, it's especially this time of year because it gets dark at like 7 o'clock, and it's just now that we're in the like family life, like I don't miss like the bar scene at all. I don't miss staying out late.
Sometimes I do.
Wow. But like even this year for my birthday, we went out and we were
Yeah,
just
we had a
so
babysitter.
tired. We had a babysitter. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And we kind of had to, and we just kind of forced it. And we didn't have our setup exactly set up like the way we do now at the store. But I remember thinking like, man, I wish we could just go like you and me just sit on the couch and like watch a movie instead of like, we had we had like a nice dinner, but then, we had the babysitter till like 10 o'clock. And about 8 o'clock, we were just kind of like, what do you want to do? I'm tired. You're tired.
Yeah. Main point of the story is like we like the more simple things in life now. Like, I like doing things as a family. Like, we went to the pumpkin patch a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Really nice. And I like doing things that include the kids and making memories.
You do like that. You're really good at that.
Well, I'm starving, so we're going to end this video. But thank you so much for watching our first Q&A. Let me know what you think about this, and maybe we'll do another one. So let me know in the comments, and if you are new around here, please hit that subscribe button because I'm growing. Anything else?
Peace out.